Welcome, everybody, to the 11th episode of Commercial Collection Agency's 20-minute talk. Like I said, we have a record registration amount, so we are so excited to see all of your faces. Feel free to put your camera on. Um, we are There's a bunch of us that are on camera, and we would welcome you to be as well. I'm going to turn this over to Commercial Collection Agencies of America President Umberto Matz of Creditors Adjustment Bureau. Umberto, take it away and welcome.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining
Thank you.
us. And Michelle, thank you for joining us. We really
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
for having me.
Um, Michele Gambino is a licensed private investigator and founder of Gambino Information Services. For over 25 years, Michele has been privileged to help clients uncover the information they need during some of life's most challenging moments. Being a private investigator is more than just a job to Michele. It's a responsibility that she takes to heart. When Michele founded Gambino Information Services, Inc., she wanted to create a firm that values integrity, respect, and relentless dedication. Every case she handles is personal because she knows there's a person or business depending on her to deliver accurate, timely, and trustworthy results. Michele personally oversees each investigation, whether it's locating assets, conducting background checks, or finding someone who's difficult to locate, because she believes attention to detail and clear communication make all the difference. Her clients trust her not only for her experience, but for her honesty and commitment to their goals. Michele says, at the end of the day, I'm here to provide clarity, peace of mind, and answers when they matter most. I'm someone who genuinely cares and will work tirelessly on your behalf. So everyone, please welcome Michele Gambino. Michele, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I will start out. Is it my turn to speak now? To speak a little bit? Okay,
Absolutely.
As I know, I'm doing this for many, many years. Be 60 years old. I've been doing this for about 40 years. I take a lot of pride in what I do. I'm very honest about what I do. Clients that come in and see me, if I can't help them, I tell them I can't help them, or they call me. I'm very honest like that. I believe that's the way you should conduct business. The best way is to be honest at all times. As far as the type of people I deal with attorneys. I deal with a load of other PI firms. I deal with landlord-tenant investigations. I deal with collection agencies, all different sorts, from criminal attorneys to property attorneys, whatever it might be. It's not always easy to find somebody, and sometimes it is. As I say, you don't want to use the term pretext because, it's iffy here, iffy there. I say an interview. I'm very good on the phone to get information out of people. I'll speak to them. Sometimes they'll tell me where they live. They just tell me where they live. Of course, I go in under a legal pretext. I can't say I'm the city, the state, or the government. So whatever company name I make up and you fall into my trap, it's fine. Of course, I'm not going to call New Hampshire. Some places you cannot do that. So I know where to call. Okay. You're smirking. Why? So there are there are ways that you could go about things and you can't. Basically, I start out with database searches. I run all my database searches that I have and I see what comes up for the individual. Now we're talking about a locate. So then I run the locates, I compare the addresses, see if they own the property. If they don't own the property, do they got utility in their name? No, they have cable in their name. Most people don't change their utility. They just put the cable in their name. The person they're renting from keeps the utility in their name. Sometimes. Then I have to find if they don't own the property, and even if they own the property, don't mean they live there. They could be rented it out. So it's kind of tricky. So then I'll just see who owns the property and verify with the landlord if that person is residing there. Okay, yes, he rents from me. I go under some type of legal pretext. Yeah, he rents from me. He's been residing there, so-and-so. Great, bang, case is closed. The guy lives there. Sometimes I can't always find somebody. I can't. So that's when I start reaching out to relatives. And I call some relatives. Oh, can you have them call me? I can't get a cell number for the guy. Okay, fine. I get a call on my phone. The guy calls me back. Bang, I got a cell phone number. Now I find out where his cell phone number belongs. Where does he send his bills to? Some people don't send their bills, to other people. They just keep it in their own name. So, I mean, they'll keep it in their own name, but they don't change their address or so forth. So, in that case, it's more challenging. Okay. And some people don't even need to know where they're located. They say, listen, I just want to know if the guy's working. Is he working? Okay, fine. I'm going to find out if he's on the books or not. If he's working on the books, I'll find it. If he's not working on the books, I'm either going to get it through a pretext, possibly. I can't say I'm going to. I'm going to possibly get it through a pretext. If I'm not, then it might be you need to do a surveillance on this person to see where they, see where they're going every day. That's with employment. Are you laughing at me? I see this. I don't know who is. Oh, okay. So, then after that, we will do a bank search. We can do a bank search, see if the guy has any money in his name. Sometimes you could determine if he has money. Sometimes you can't get any information, but I let you know there's a bank with this guy's profile on record. You take it from there, whether you want to subpoena it or not. Sometimes I could get more details. Sometimes I can't. Same thing with brokerage searches. Sometimes people say, I always tell clients, don't do the brokerage yet. Start with the bank search because you might get what you need from the bank search. That's what's important. See if he's got a bank account. Half of these people, some of these people have bank accounts don't. I mean, I found a guy the other day with 234,000 in it with another account, and then sometimes you find nothing because these people. I tell these people that might not put the money in their name. They might put it in their wife's name or their mother's name. You might want to search them first sometimes. So, like I said, and I was taught from Annette. It depends, it depends on the amount of the judgment, of course. And that's with that bank and brokerage, locating people, employment. I do all that. I mean, if you need to find out if somebody's on unemployment, I'll find that out for you too.
Hey, Michelle, can I interrupt you for a
Yes.
second? Is the reason you go to the bank search first because it's easier for us as collection agencies and through our attorneys to garnish than to garnish a brokerage, or is it just an easier, like the whole function is easier to find a bank
No,
rather than
same.
brokerage?
Same.
Same?
I
Okay.
just always feel for the client, why spend more money? You might hit on, like some people will order, they'll say, listen, I want a bank and brokerage. I'm like, listen, do the bank first. You don't have to do brokerage too. You have a judgment already. What are you going to add more money? You know what I mean? You don't even want to spend money with me at this point because, it costs money and you're trying to find money. So I think a half a dozen of the other. You want to find money so you get your money, but you don't want to spend too much money doing it. Okay. So that's why I say that. That's why I
Okay.
say that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I mean, my forte is in all those. I'm doing this a long time. Um, I'm very good on the phone. If I have to be a man on the phone, if I have to be an old lady on the phone, whatever it is, I get the information if I can. I can't guarantee you I'm going to get it. My clients will come into me. You guarantee me you're going to locate them? I'm like, no, I don't guarantee anything. If you want me to tell you, I'll guarantee you. And then when you get the case and it says, well, all efforts have been exhausted, that's fine too. But I'm honest. I could only try my best. And I do that because of my reputation. I had a woman come to me. Her son was homeless. Honestly, I was very proud of myself. I found him in Manhattan. I kind of ruled things out and I found the shelter he was staying at. But does that always happen? No. But I have a lot of determination and I'm thorough. If I'm not sure of something, that's probably because I'm a little OCD. I have to go in again. I have to go in again. And I always tell clients too, the only way you know is to try. Everybody knows how to talk a big line and say they're good at what they do and this and that. Yeah, everybody's going to send you this, going to send you that. Okay, great. It's all good. But I could only show you what I can do and my thoroughness and work with you. Like I tell my other clients, listen, we can work together. I'm not going to give you a list with prices. You're going to tell me what you could work with, and I'll tell you if I could work with that. We all need to make money and we all need to be fair. So if I'm not going to scare you away and say, this is my price, and you're like, oh man, no good. Michelle, I could work with you with this. If I feel it's worth it for my work and we work together, So it's not like I'm dealing with the public. I'm dealing with other businesses. So you have to be fair. You say, listen, I don't know if your collection agencies I use TLO, IRB, IDI Core, um, IRB, TLO, Trace. I don't have traces at the moment. I don't really need them. But you say, listen, I just need some searches from you. Okay, you know what I pay for a search. I pay about $2 a search. Okay, something like that. If you don't have some of these databases and you say, listen, can you run some of these searches? I can make a little money off them. We work it out. I throw you the searches. If you wanted to do that in yourself and you didn't want me to do it per se. I'm always willing to work a number out if I can. If it's too low, I have to refuse. If it's good in the middle, we could work together and I can make a little, I'm fine. I'm not greedy. I'm not
Hey,
greedy.
hey, Michelle, we have a couple of questions.
Yes,
Su
please.
Susan asked, how do you check utilities or cable? Do you just call them straight up? And
Well, a lot of the information that I do, I don't tell people how I do it, but yes, in that case, yes,
okay. And
we're
then
going to
Tom
work honestly.
Yeah, and Tom asks, how soon after receiving a case do you pick up the phone, and what if they answer?
Like if I'm trying to call the person
Yeah, the
and
debtor.
they answer the phone
Yeah.
and I have to talk to them,
He said, and what if they answer? Like, what do you say if they answer?
to try to find out where they work and stuff like that.
I don't know. Tom, do you want to expound on that a little bit? You got to take yourself off mute.
Yeah, I mean, every now and then we'll get a case in and I'll just, open it and just pick up the phone as long as as everything checks out. And then you got him on the phone. I got something to talk to him about. What do you do?
You mean you got something to talk to them about as far as their judgment?
No, I got a collection case on my hands. They owe money. So that
Before
we're an
before
agency. I
judgment.
got a claim. So I pick up the phone. They happen to answer. I mean,
But
what
you're
I'm saying
going
is
in
if
straight, right?
I'm going in straight,
I'm
what I'm
not.
asking is, okay, you're not. So you're just trying to verify
Well, I'm
your
trying to
job is to
find where they
verify.
work. I'm trying to find where they work or where they live.
Okay.
So I go under a legal pretext. Yeah, I can't say I'm a New York police officer. We need to know,
No, no,
none
no.
of, yeah. I go in under a legal pretext. Half of the time they get money back, or I just want to make sure no one, whatever I use. And they'll tell me, well, listen, I'm working here. I've been here this year. Sometimes people will tell me, you know what? I don't know who you are. Goodbye. You know what I'm saying? It happens. I'm not going to say that. But a lot of these people, like I did this big case. I also work with Joey Jackson. He's on Channel 7. I do a lot. I just worked a big murder case for him and another big criminal attorney, Nick Kaiser in Manhattan. I do a lot of work for these people in trying to locate people. But yes, I do also work for a car dealership, and I'm going in straight because these people are not paying for their cars, and I got to find their cars. So I got to go in. Hi, I'm calling from so and so. You're going to pay it. You want to get. We're going to come get your vehicles. Do you want to work it out, or what do you want to do at this point? So that I go in straight. Sometimes I don't. I go in, but always where you're protected. That well, you don't have a problem. How did you invest? I mean, that's not right. I don't lead any problems for you. So just know you're clear that way. And I'll go under just something to try to find where they work. They tell me where they work or if you say to me, Michelle, I'm giving you a case. I need to know where this guy lives. He's bouncing around. So I try to find him that way. Call his mother, call his grandmother, whoever it is, whoever's going to work with me. Some people won't work with me at all. And I'll say, I've tried every exit, every entrance. It's just what it is. Yes.
Don't you find, Michelle, that if you are, I don't know, like if you're friendly on the telephone, you're not going in like you're accusatory or angry in any way. Don't you find that you're more like the people are more receptive and almost if you can start them talking, they're going to start giving up stuff.
Annette, you cannot be mean at all. You have to be sweet as pie.
That's what
Okay.
my
That's key in life.
my
You
family says you
cannot
can't
be
be
nasty.
mean.
I come across a little tough, but I'm not tough on the phone. I am very sweet. This woman called me the other day. She's like, I think you scared me. I said, really? Well, why would I pick up your call? I said, I'm not. Listen, I studied acting for many years. I studied in Manhattan many years, but you cannot be mean to people, okay? Because you don't get anywhere. That's a general thing in life. My mother taught me that the nastier somebody is to you, the nicer you are to them, because it's just going to turn them around. And that's how you have to be. You're not going to get anything, not in this business.
So,
Sometimes they'll come at you nasty. You say, listen, I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to tell you what's going on. But you have to be nice. Yes. In every way or form, you have to be nice.
hey, Michelle, I have a question for you. So
Sure.
let's say that we have a case and it's large enough that it would warrant using a private investigator. Okay.
Okay.
What information would you want us to provide to you? And what's the minimum amount of information that you need?
Okay. You provide to me what you have. If you have like a document of 100 pages, no. Okay. But if you have the name, the social, that's really all I need. If you don't have the social, I could develop the social. That's not a problem. I could develop social security numbers, dates of birth in most cases. Very rare I can't make and develop a social. Okay. That's all I really need. But if you have, the name, date of birth, sometimes if the individual's name is John Lee, okay, and you say, well, we have a year of birth, we have a month, that's tough. That's tough. If you have a last known address, you have a town, we can always try to rule it out. So the least information, a name and a town, I could try. But I could say, listen, there's too many coming up in this town. We're never going to find them. But I think in most cases you have a name, date of birth, social, right? Does everybody pretty much, or no?
Not social all the time, right, Umberto?
Yeah, not no, but usually we'll have a last address at least. Okay,
That's
and
fine.
we'll have
A name.
again, it just depends. If there's a business involved, we could have a business license. We could have there's information that we can provide, but with our databases, we might just hit a dead end as far as where do we serve this person, or what assets are we looking for.
Yeah, I could develop socials, and then I run the social and I see what comes up for the person. Um, I could, you know, I have a lot of databases I could use that I could get information on people. Sometimes it costs a little bit more to get certain information. I have a colleague who could run credit reports. You know what I'm saying? And that's a good source of information for you. Um,
Liz
Mostly,
asked, oh, go ahead.
yeah. No, go. I want the question.
Liz has asked, do you use a certain site when you to search a bank account when you don't have the bank name, routing number, and account numbers? Liz, you can take yourself off mute if I'm not asking the question. Do you have Michelle? She wants to know, do you have something that you can do when you don't have that information?
Well, I never have the bank. I'm going to try to develop the bank.
How do you do that?
Okay. Hi.
How do you do that?
All right. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good. Most of the time, we don't have the bank. That's why they're using me to try to find the bank and see where that person has their bank account. And then you would subpoena the record. If I can't tell you, I always will try to tell you if the account is open, because I don't want you to go all through that and then they say this is a closed account. So that is something I can pretty much tell you whether it's open or closed. If they have a credit account, if they have a loan, if they have a mortgage, could help you attach maybe to the house, stuff like that. Do a property search. If I say, but I know a lot of collection agencies always they use people for utility a lot. Want to try utility searches? Those are very common for me. Very common for me to do. You got to check a few, but usually if you have a town, you run the social, you see what town they're in, and you check it from there. But you don't need to know the bank. No. If you have the bank already, give it to me, because you say, listen, we have this bank. We don't know if it's open or not. Can you tell me? That's fine. That's fine. but usually you don't have to have it. Don't worry about that.
Tom said, are you obligated to tell the party you are looking for why you are calling them?
No.
No. And does it ever help to tell them?
That's up to you. If you want me to get them on the phone and say, I represent C&C Collection Agency, I'm here to, work a deal out with you. That's up to you if you want me to do that. I'll do that. I have no problem with that. I could say, C&C Collection Agency hired me. My name's Michele Gambino. I'm a private investigator. We're here now to try to collect the debt from you. If maybe that'll move them a little bit. Maybe it won't.
So, Michele, at our last conference and at the one that's coming up, we had a session called War Stories and Wine. And what it was our collection agency people and our creditors' rights attorney members got up and told their favorite story about a collection case that they handled. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you, tell us your favorite story or one of your favorite stories or your biggest win when it came to locating a person or a bank account.
It's funny. You put me on the spot. You know that, right?
Oh, come on. Well, okay. So you think about
you're
it,
so
and
cute.
I'll tell you one other thing. You think about it. For those on the call, when I was sitting on a forwarding desk, I remember you could call up the bank. This is how old I am. You could call up the bank and you could ask what this blows
Absolutely.
like
I remember
newer
that.
people away. Remember that? You could ask, I have a check for $2,500. Will it clear?
Yep, you could do that. Yep.
Remember that? Bob Tarnish.
All us old timers do.
I get it all the
Sometimes
time.
it's even still used. I still use that because sometimes you can't get everything. You say, "Can I clear?" And I'll tell you, there's over 1,000 in the bank. That's
They'll
a thing.
still tell you. See, I don't think. I don't know. I don't think it hurts to at least try.
Nothing to lose by trying.
Peter, what do you think about that?
About just trying. If I had a bank, I would just issue a garnishment.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's because you're an attorney.
Yeah, that's what I do. And a garnishment in Maryland for under $30,000, it's only $20.
Oh, isn't it worth it for you to garnish all the major banks?
Well, that's actually we do. We garnish them.
Okay.
If we have no clue, I garnish the 9 largest banks in the region.
I follow you.
Which is like $200. And we just kind of see what happens.
That's definitely a good way to go about it that way. For sure.
Hey, can I point out something for 1 minute?
For sure.
I see Bob Tarnish down there.
Bob,
you're retiring in like what, 7 days?
T-minus 8 days and counting, but who's counting?
Bob,
well,
it's great. I just look forward to hope you look forward to your retirement. That's probably the last time we'll see Bob.
I'm excited about it. Thanks, Peter.
Good luck to you.
Bob, you could come to Delray and we'll celebrate your retirement there with a couple other retirees.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, I'm starting out my retirement with a knee replacement, so
good luck
for a couple months.
That's okay.
Good luck on that. Leanne,
well, I'll tell you.
I love this. Leanne says, I remember when we could have the creditor send a small dollar check to the debtor and wait to see if it was deposited.
Yeah.
Take yourself
off. And where it was deposited.
Right.
I remember that years ago. I remember that so clear.
Yes.
And used to be able to call
do that.
And say I'm a skip tracer. Used to say, like, call some places. Hi, I'm skipping on this person. I'd like to know. That used to be. We used to do that too.
We have an account with a generic name on it that goes to an address that's not where the law firm is. And we will still send businesses, we'll send them a check for $10 or $15 and see if it comes back with any good banking information. We've got some good hits off it over the years.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, your method's great.
Tom asks, do PIs share info with other PIs like they're good sources?
Sometimes, depends on your colleagues. Sometimes people don't want to give up how they get it. Me, I share. I'm not worried about people taking my business away. With whoever stays with me stays with me. I like to help people. So if I can help a colleague out who's doing the same thing I'm doing, why not? I'll give them my pretext. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Michelle, what kind of turnaround time typically? So let's say that we want to find someone, we send the information that we have to you. Are we looking a turnaround in days? Are we looking a turnaround in weeks? Or what are we looking at as far as a turnaround?
My apologies, because you did ask me that before and I didn't answer that. It depends. Like I have clients that send me like a bunch of assets, a bunch of locates, and he has a 30-day turnaround time. I have somebody else who has a 15-day turnaround. I have somebody else who has a 7-day turnaround. Depends on the client. If you need a rush, you need it overnight, I'll do it overnight. Oh, no additional. Just you tell me, can you rush this one? I rush it.
Okay, we're at our 20-minute talk turned into a 26-minute talk. Does anybody want to take themselves off of mute and ask Michele a question? Or did we hit on all the questions?
I just gotta have fun with it. Michele, you says you don't want to call New Hampshire?
No, I can't. You can't pretext. You can't pretext New Hampshire.
You know where I'm from then, huh?
Yeah, no, I didn't know that, but I know you can't pretext New Hampshire. I know that. I'm like, okay. I learned that. I learned you can't pretext. It's so funny. I learned that.
Two-party consent state too and all that. So, all
Yes.
kinds of things. Yeah.
I see. And Annette, I'm gonna end the story for everybody, but I had a case. Guy wanted to get rid of the building in Manhattan. The guy wouldn't move. The guy, this is honest to God, the guy wouldn't move. I called the guy up. I said, this is my best story. I said, listen, I'm calling from Package Express. We have a wheelchair. It's listed for you. He goes, really? I said, yeah. I said, are you disabled? He says, no. I said, oh, really? He goes, yeah, but maybe somebody plans on me being disabled. And he laughed. Bang. That's what we needed. He was telling the client he was disabled. See that? So that was my favorite.
Wow.
Story. Yeah. And it closed. The guy got rid of the building, got him out. But I figured, how am I going to go into this guy to prove he's not disabled? And he was laughing. He goes, I'm not disabled. I said, all right.
That's
creative.
He said,
send a wheelchair anyway. I said, all right. So that was
Roxanne would like to know if your services are nationwide.
Nationwide. Bank account searches nationwide. And a lot of people will say to you, do you do a nationwide bank search or a local bank? Every bank account is nationwide. You check the major banks, you check the smaller banks in the area, and that's how it works. You check 25-mile radius outside, and you check nationwide banks. People say, oh, you do a nationwide? The PI say nationwide. It's all nationwide. It's all nationwide.
And Dennis says, is there I think you mean source of data based?
Yeah. Is there a source of database that you use for skip tracing?
Yes, I use TLO, IRB, IDI Core. Those are the three.
The nice thing about Michele is, and this is why I'm excited to introduce her to our members, is sometimes our firms may not be able to have a TLO subscription or an IDI Core subscription. I don't know. I mean, I don't do it because I'm in the executive director's office, but your firms may not want to have a subscription. So if you have that large account and it's just a one-off, then maybe you want to use Michele. And so I'm trying to convince Michele to come and visit, to Delray so she can meet all of you. And
I will do that one day.
I would love it.
I have to add, I have a very close friend of mine who's a big criminal attorney, and he has some databases that he just lets me use all the time. So that could help you too with, finding out on an individual.
And I think having this network really will exponentially improve our collection agencies and our attorney collections. I really do. I think that if you arm yourself with the right type of resources, such as Michele, I really think that you can improve your collections. Is there anything else I have one. Okay, Lee. Hi. Are you able to why don't you ask? Take yourself off Don't be shy. This is Leanne, Michelle, and she is affectionately known to all of us as Pi.
Oh, hi, Pi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
I had a question about who can solicit your services. So in the past, I was wanting a bank search done.
Yeah.
I had reached out. One of my attorneys gave me a resource, but that resource said, look, unless you are the plaintiff or you are the attorney, I can't perform this search for you. Is that accurate, or was that just a preference for that particular skip search?
You were a collection agency and they wouldn't do it for you?
Correct, because we weren't the plaintiff and we weren't the attorney of record.
No, I could do that for you. I deal with plenty of attorneys. Like, that's why, like, sometimes when the public will come to you and say, listen, I want to know, where my husband banks. If you don't have an attorney, I'm not giving it to you. Do you follow what I'm saying? Because you're going to go to your husband. It's not done that way. You have to subpoena the records. So absolutely can assist you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
More question.
Right.
Do you think it's beneficial to use more than one database for skip tracing?
Definitely. Because you just never know, and that's a good question, because sometimes I'm like, I don't want to run. I just ran this one. This one's going to be pretty similar. They pull off a lot of the same databases, but sometimes you just never know. And because it's very inexpensive, it's worth it. Because you just don't know who you're going to find off one to another. Maybe you'll find a relative off one, but your question is good. I tend to lean on TLO. I like TLO. I like their information. I'm very successful with it. Where I don't run to IRB as much. Where 15 years ago, IRB was all I used. So.
Are they inexpensive now, Michelle? Because when I was doing it 15 years ago, they were expensive. Are they inexpensive
like
now?
$1.50 a search, something like that.
Okay.
That's how much the searches are. It's, comprehensives are like 14, but like people say to me, oh, I need a criminal in New York. I'm not using those databases to run a criminal. I'm sorry, I don't trust them like that. I have to go right through the courts to run a criminal. I don't trust them. But that's me.
Right.
That's me. I'm not running a criminal off that. Or a DM, or somebody needs a plate search to find somebody. I'm not doing it off that my database, because it's not updated like the system is. Go right to motor vehicle.
And just to piggyback off what Michelle said in response to you, Dennis, we use multiple databases. We use TLO, we use Clear, we use IDI Core, BRE, I don't know what the hell else we use. It's a lot. It's
Accurate.
You have all of them
yeah,
too, right? Yeah.
I use Accurate considerably a lot, so.
We've
They
found
say
that.
TLO pulls off Accurate. I don't know if that's true or not.
I think you're right about that, actually.
You do, right?
TLO
Yeah.
pulls off of TransUnion, and Accurate pulls off of Experian's database.
Okay, there you go. So it's TransUnion then. Yeah.
So it's like one credit report versus another credit report. They're all going to be different.
Correct.
Based on what you're looking for.
Correct. Locates, like I said, with a locate, sometimes it helps you. Locates are challenging. They're challenging. Sometimes they'll come up with just like tons. Like years ago, I remember doing employment locates. A guy called me from a payphone. I ID'd the payphone. I called the 4 businesses in front of the payphone, and I found him. That was years ago. Today nobody calls you from their job. I use prepaid phones all the time, but nobody calls you from their job anymore. They don't use landlines. So, but yeah, every bit helps. If you get stuck, I'd be more than willing, and I appreciate everyone's time that joined me today. I really appreciate it. And if there's anything I could do, I'm more than glad to help you, and I would love your business, and I'll work with you the best way I can. But just know you're dealing with someone who's very honest. Very honest.
Michelle, thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you for everybody, to everybody for joining us. You'll get a message about the next TMT in September. Of course, I would be remiss if I did not say, if you are not signed up for the annual conference in Delray in October, please go to the website and sign up, join us. It's education such as today, times 2.5 days. So if you are able to join us, please do so. Umberto, did I miss anything?
No, but we hope to see you in Delray. It's a great conference, great people, and we look. I certainly look forward to seeing everybody.
Thank you.
All
And
right,
if anybody has
everybody.
any questions, please call me.
Oh,
Anytime.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And you know what? I'm going to put your information in the chat. So everybody, this is Michelle's information. Gambinoinfo@gmail.com, right, Michelle?
Or you can use info@forprivateinvestigators.com. That's the more professional email. The Gambino info is just something I've had for a while, but you can keep that. You can use that. We know. But if you go off my website, you'll see info. But that one's fine. Oh, you see it. It's right there. There you go.
Okay. All right, you guys take a screenshot of that and you can always call my office as well or email me, respond to the invitation you got if you don't get that information. All right.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Michelle. That
Thank
was
you,
great.
everybody.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks a
Michelle,
lot.
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much,
Thank you.
everybody. Be well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take
Bye-bye.
care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.